Okay, we're going through the 50 greatest games in this series we're calling Analyze With Me. This is the 45th best move in chess history or of all time. Again, very subjective. Trying to figure out which move is 45 versus 46 versus 44 has been a little bit tough. But this game is being played by Gunsberg, white, versus Chigorin as black in 1890. As usual, that information will be in the video notes. So we're about in the mid-game right now. Looks like black has a slight advantage if you look at the eval bar right there. So white's trying to keep defense going, but black looks like he's making steady progress. So again, the pieces will stop moving when the key move comes into play, and then we'll examine what's going on behind that move. Okay, black, it looks like he's building up a lot of attack on that king side, and the pieces stopped, which means we are at the key position. So pause it, take a look, see what you think it is. Write in the comments what you think black does here, what the best move is, what the move that we're looking for. So let's do a quick look at what's going on. Obviously, the rook and the black queen are dominating this file. The bishop's temporarily in the way, but if the bishop moves, that file is going to be owned by those two pieces. The knight can jump into action, even though the bishop is eyeing that square, though. This queen is sort of x-raying through its own rook to this white rook. And I think those are probably the key setups, key things in this position. So now we're going to move. Again, pause it if you haven't figured out, if you're still thinking about it. Otherwise, we'll take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so the move, number 45, is rook takes on f3. As usual, there should be some exclamation points flying around the screen or something. So this move, unlike others we've looked at, is not sort of like a game ending on the spot type of move. There will be a lot more play that goes on before this move sort of shows its full power. But we'll look and see what's going on. So what happens here if queen doesn't take, then you have this threat. Actually, you have this threat winning the queen. So you almost have to take here. So queen takes, and this is what happens in the game. Queen takes, and then now the queen comes flying in. The idea is attacking the king check, and the queen cannot block because this bishop would take it. And obviously, if the queen goes here, then the black queen would just take. So king goes back to g1. Okay, the next move in the game, bishop check on f2. What's the idea here? If king can't take. If queen takes, let's see, queen takes, what happens? Bam, check. And thank you for your queen. And white's up well over 6 points. So that would not be good for white. So that's why in this position, he decides to just slide his king underneath. Now the knight check. When I first saw this, I thought the rook was going to take here, but nothing. That's an okay move. Black is still winning, but queen takes back, and then the follow-up gets a little bit dicey here. I mean, you could do something like this, but now the eval bar, now this is basically an even game, so that's not what black is looking for. So white slides under, and the knight jumps into action. So the knight is attacking the queen, but that's not actually the main point behind this move, because the knight immediately gets taken, and then what's the idea? Why did he basically give up the knight? Well, that bishop was guarding that rook. So now I will take the rook, says black. So black takes the rook and check again, and attacking this bishop. So it looks like the king might want to take this bishop, but that does not work, because once the rook takes the other rook, you see that black is up 7 points. And that's because not only is this bishop under attack, but this bishop is also under attack. So since white can't defend both of them, he would lose another bishop, and then he would be down significantly. So that's why in the previous position, white does not take the bishop. Instead, he continues to move his king around the board. So in this position, now black takes the rook anyway, and then now the bishop gets taken. Okay, so black had a commanding lead, and now he just needs to finish this off. He grabs the bishop. Pawn push in order to try to give himself some space, and now the evaluation bar says mate 12. In the game, black goes queen to f1 check, and we see a mate in 13. So interesting side note is I tried to find this mate in 13 earlier before I made this video, and I could not find it. And so the weird thing is that the evaluation bar keeps changing. So in this position, so it claims it's mate in 13, but I'll show you what I mean. So if the king goes to D2, then see it dropped to 8, and now it's back to mate in 13. Okay, so what would be the beginning move? You assume it'd be something like that. Mate in 12. Okay, where can white go? He has literally one move. He goes back here. So now it's mate in 12, supposedly. Well, okay, what would be the next move in the series? It's not rook. It's still not the rook. If you go back, now it's mate in 15 still, but before that, it's mate in 12. If you go rook here, mate in 11. So now it's mate in 11, right? It was mate in 12 earlier. So this is what happens. It just keeps changing. I don't know. Maybe if I leave it for long enough on a powerful enough evaluation setting, it would give me the correct answer. But I could not find the forced mate anywhere. I can figure out how to, how to win the queen. If you go back here, which is where I think we started, and you go up here, then rook is attacking the queen, you block here, and then now I think if you go here, check, and I think you're going to win the bishop, because if you try to block, then you just take, and in that case, black is totally winning. So anyway, all that said, I'm not sure where the forced mate is, but the game ended a little bit earlier with when queen here, queen to f1, and then we'll go all the way back to the move that we considered the greatest, the 45th greatest move in chess history, and that was when we go all the way back to that beautiful rook sack on f3. Okay, if you liked that video, like and subscribe, and this series is continuing. Next video will be the 44th best move, and I think the entire series link should be right down here in that corner. Okay, thanks for watching.